In 1959, 9 experienced hikers vanished into the Ural Mountains and never came back the same. Their tent was found ripped open from the inside, as if something terrified them into fleeing barefoot into sub-zero snow. Investigators discovered the group had cut their way out of the tent rather than using the exit, suggesting panic beyond reason. Bodies were later found scattered across the mountainside, some without obvious injuries, others with crushed skulls and broken ribs comparable to a car crash, yet no external wounds. One woman was missing her tongue and eyes. Radiation was detected on some clothing. Soviet investigators closed the case citing an unknown compelling force, a phrase that still sends chills through researchers today. Avalanche theories, military tests, and infrasound panic have all been proposed. None fully explain every detail. To this day, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the most haunting unresolved mysteries in modern history. Speaking of things that defy explanation, in 1912 the crew of a merchant ship stumbled upon a vessel drifting silently in the Atlantic. It was the Mary Celeste, fully seaworthy, cargo intact, personal belongings untouched, yet completely empty of its crew. The lifeboat was missing, but the ship showed no signs of struggle, fire, or storm damage. A half-eaten meal sat on the table. The captain's family, who had been aboard, were gone too, without a trace. Theories ranged from mutiny to sea monsters to a sudden panic over fumes from the cargo of alcohol. Insurance investigators found nothing suspicious, yet nobody involved was ever found alive or dead. Even modern forensic reviews haven't settled the case. The ship was eventually sold and sailed for years afterward, almost as if the mystery didn't matter to the sea. Sailors still consider the name Mary Celeste an omen of bad luck. If ghost ships give you chills, wait until you hear about a message from the stars that nobody could explain. In 1977, an astronomer scanning radio signals from deep space recorded a burst so strong and unusual he wrote "wow" next to it on the printout. The signal lasted 72 seconds, matched patterns expected from an extraterrestrial transmission, and came from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius. Despite searching that same patch of sky for decades afterward, astronomers never detected it again. Some proposed it was a comet, but that theory was later disputed by researchers who found the timing didn't match cometary activity. Others suggested a military satellite, but nothing was ever confirmed. To this day, the WOW signal remains the strongest candidate ever recorded for a possible alien transmission, and its origin, whether cosmic accident or genuine contact, is still completely unknown. While space keeps its secrets, some mysteries are hidden in ink instead of stars. The Voynich manuscript is a 240-page book filled with elaborate illustrations of plants that don't exist, strange astrological diagrams, and text written in an alphabet nobody has ever cracked. Carbon dating places its creation in the early 1400s, long before modern hoaxes could explain it away. Codebreakers from World War II, including experts who cracked Nazi ciphers, tried and failed to decode it. Some researchers believe it's an elaborate language invented purely as an art project. Others think it holds real forgotten medical or botanical knowledge from a lost civilization. Recent AI analysis found patterns consistent with real language structure, ruling out simple gibberish. Yet not a single word has ever been definitively translated. It sits today in Yale's rare book library, a genuine unsolved puzzle written by a mind we still don't understand. Sometimes the mystery isn't written down, it's something you can actually hear. Residents of Taos, New Mexico have reported a low, persistent hum since the 1990s that only some people can perceive. It's been described as a distant diesel engine idling non-stop, yet no mechanical source has ever been found nearby. Scientists from Los Alamos National Laboratory investigated using sensitive equipment and found no measurable acoustic or seismic signal matching complaints, even though sufferers insisted the sound was real and maddening. Similar hums have been reported in cities like Bristol in England and Windsor in Canada, always affecting a small percentage of the population while leaving everyone else hearing nothing at all. Theories range from industrial machinery to tinnitus to underground geological activity. None have been proven. The Taos hum remains an open case, a sound heard by some, denied by science, and still completely unexplained. From sounds nobody can trace to disappearances nobody can explain, let's talk about Flight 19. In December 1945, 5 Navy bomber planes took off on a routine training mission over the Bermuda Triangle and simply vanished. The lead pilot reported his compasses were malfunctioning and that the ocean looked strange, unlike anywhere he'd flown before. Radio contact grew increasingly panicked before cutting off entirely. A rescue plane sent to find them also disappeared the same night, with no wreckage, no debris, and no bodies ever recovered from either aircraft. Naval investigators concluded pilot error was likely, blaming disorientation, yet many veteran aviators found that explanation unconvincing given the experience of the crew. No trace of any of the 6 aircraft has ever surfaced despite decades of searching. The case helped cement the Bermuda Triangle's reputation, and remains one of aviation's most complete and unexplained disappearances on record. Not every mystery involves people. In Scotland, Overtown Bridge has earned a chilling nickname, the Dog Suicide Bridge, after dozens of dogs leapt to their deaths from the same specific spot over several decades. Witnesses describe otherwise calm, well-trained dogs suddenly bolting toward the parapet and jumping without hesitation, always from the same side of the bridge. Some owners reported their dogs later returning to try again after surviving the fall. Researchers eventually proposed that the dogs might be smelling mink or other scent trails hidden in the stonework below, triggering a hunting instinct so strong it overrides self-preservation. Others point to the bridge's history near a former asylum, adding an eerie folklore layer to the story. No single theory has satisfied everyone, and incidents, though rarer now, still occasionally occur. Local authorities have added warning signs, but the true reason behind the pattern remains unresolved. Underwater mysteries can be just as strange as anything on land or in the sky. In 1997, hydrophones designed to detect underwater volcanic activity picked up an incredibly powerful sound from the Pacific Ocean, one loud enough to be detected by sensors over 3,000 miles apart. Scientists nicknamed it the bloop, and its acoustic profile resembled a living creature far larger than any known animal on Earth. For years it fueled speculation about massive undiscovered sea life lurking in the deep. Eventually, researchers matched the sound's characteristics to ice quakes, large ice sheets cracking and scraping in Antarctica, officially closing the biological theory. Yet even with that explanation, some researchers note the original recording still doesn't perfectly match typical icequake patterns, leaving a small shadow of doubt. It's a rare case of a mystery being mostly solved, but not completely, and that sliver of uncertainty keeps ocean explorers curious to this day. These cases share something in common: brilliant scientists, detailed records, and modern technology still couldn't fully close the book on any of them. That's what makes real mysteries so different from fiction. There's no writer providing answers, no final chapter waiting to be revealed. Just questions that outlive the people who first asked them. Maybe someday new evidence will surface, a lost document, a forgotten recording, a piece of wreckage finally found. Or maybe some mysteries are simply meant to stay that way, permanent reminders that our understanding of the world still has gaps. If any of these cases stuck with you, or if you know of one even stranger, that curiosity is exactly why stories like these keep getting told. Subscribe if you want more real unexplained mysteries like this one.